It's a large, rocky, Earth-like planet. It's just possible that this world, or one like it, could in the future become home to the human race.
In a quiet corner of deep space, NASA found something they weren't expecting. A planet, hidden behind layers of cosmic dust, orbiting a dim red sun, appears to have all the conditions needed for human life: oxygen, water, temperate weather, even signs of organic activity. But strangely, the discovery wasn't blasted across headlines. In fact, only a handful of scientists were even allowed to see the raw data. Why? What's being kept from us? For decades, we've searched for another Earth, a place to escape, to colonize, or to start over. Now, we may have finally found it. But the story is far more bizarre and far more dangerous than anyone is saying. From ancient alien theories to government silence, here are the 9 most shocking revelations about the planet NASA says could sustain human life.
Gliese 581g was discovered in 2010, right in the middle of Gliese 581's habitable zone. The discoverer of this planet, Stephen Vogt, had high hopes of it being habitable, despite it having a minimum mass over 2 times the size of Earth and an estimated temperature of anywhere from 10 degrees Fahrenheit to -24. Vogt even said that this planet had a 100% chance of supporting life, and unofficially named it Zarmina's World, or simply Zarmina, after his wife. This wasn't an official name, but problems for Gliese 581g had only just begun.
1. Gliese 581g, the Forbidden Planet. In 2010, astronomers detected a potentially Earth-like planet orbiting the red dwarf star Gliese 581. Located just 20 light-years away, Gliese 581g was the first planet ever found in the Goldilocks zone. Not too hot, not too cold, just right for life. It was big news. For a moment, it looked like we had found Earth's twin, but just as quickly, the excitement was silenced. NASA stopped talking about it. Reports were revised. Other astronomers suddenly claimed the planet didn't exist. It was reclassified, buried. Why? Some insiders believe Gliese 581g was real, and its habitability too real. Data showed atmospheric pressure, signs of water vapor, and something else. Unknown signals. Was it just a fluke, or did we stumble on a planet that was already occupied? Whatever the truth is, one thing is clear. Gliese 581g vanished from mainstream science almost overnight, and when that happens, something's being hidden.
Kepler 452b was the first planet of a similar size to Earth found in the habitable zone of its star. The star that this planet orbits is very similar to the Sun, so it's highly likely that this planet contains water and even living things. We can think of Kepler 452b as an older and larger cousin of Earth, providing an opportunity to understand and reflect on Earth's evolving environment.
2. Kepler 452b, Earth 2.0, but not what it seems. Kepler 452b was hailed as Earth's cousin. Discovered in 2015, this rocky planet orbits a Sun-like star in the habitable zone, about 1,400 light-years away. It's 60% larger than Earth, with similar gravity, temperature, and even the potential for clouds and oceans. NASA was unusually bold this time. They released visuals, interviews, and animations. But then, a strange thing happened. Public focus shifted elsewhere. The story died almost instantly. Why promote it, then disappear it? Some speculate Kepler 452b may not be uninhabited. Radio bursts were reportedly detected in its direction, brief, high-intensity pulses that defied explanation. NASA never confirmed it, but whistleblowers say the signal was intelligent. Could this be a case of disclosure delayed? Kepler 452b may not just be livable, it might already be lived on. And if that's true, we're not looking for a new home. We're knocking on someone else's front door.
An entire solar system contained well within the distance of Mercury and the Sun. It is one of the closest places to us that could harbour alien life outside the solar system, it being only 40 light-years away from us. That means we won't be visiting it anytime soon, but with improved technology from the James Webb Space Telescope, we will be able to gain an insight into another solar system like never before.
3. The redacted TRAPPIST tapes. In 2017, NASA made a stunning announcement. 7 Earth-sized planets had been discovered orbiting the star TRAPPIST-1. 3 were in the habitable zone. Surface temperatures? Perfect. Water potential? High. Atmospheres? Likely. This was the most Earth-like system ever found. But when FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, requests were filed for raw observational data, much of it came back redacted. Why? One rumor claims that internal NASA communications discussed biosignatures on TRAPPIST-1e, chemical traces that typically indicate life, not primitive bacteria, complex organic compounds, possibly plant-like. Why would that be hidden? Because if the public knew we weren't alone, everything would change. Religion, politics, global stability. So instead, they showed us pretty animations and quietly locked away the rest. But the truth is still out there, written between the lines of what we're not allowed to see. 4. LHS 1140b, the Oxygen Enigma. Discovered in 2017, LHS 1140b is one of the most promising planets for habitability ever recorded. Located just 48 light-years away, it orbits a quiet red dwarf, and scientists believe it could have an atmosphere rich in oxygen. Here's the twist. Oxygen doesn't just exist on its own. It's usually produced by something: photosynthesis, microbes, plants, life. If LHS 1140b has high oxygen levels, where is it coming from? NASA's public reports downplay this. They call it theoretical, but insiders from the European Southern Observatory claim that early spectrograph readings were consistent with biologically sustained atmospheres. Was this the smoking gun? Some researchers now believe LHS 1140b may already support a microbial ecosystem or something more evolved. But if that's true, why haven't we sent a probe? Simple. What we might find could terrify us.
This is K218b, an exoplanet 8 times as massive as Earth, orbiting a red dwarf star about 120 light-years from Earth. Discovered in 2015 by the Kepler Space Telescope, the planet has since stood out as a subject of keen interest amongst astrobiologists because A, it lies in the habitable zone of its star, and B, it could be a water world.
5. K218b, water world, or something else. In 2019, scientists confirmed water vapor in the atmosphere of K218b, a super-Earth about 110 light-years away. This was huge. It marked the first time water was detected on a habitable zone exoplanet. But the deeper they looked, the stranger it got. K218b is larger than Earth, with a thick atmosphere and temperatures ranging from -13 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Scientists expected a foggy, steamy planet, but high-altitude instruments picked up anomalies, brief pulses of light, reflective surfaces, and temperature spikes. One possibility: technological activity. Another: volcanic storms unlike anything on Earth. Yet the raw data wasn't made fully public. Some researchers claim private briefings were held at NASA and ESA, reviewing unexplained spectrographic patterns. Theories ranged from organic clouds to artificial structures. Was K218b just another watery planet or something more? And if it's livable, who or what lives there now? 6. Exoplanet HD 106906b, the Wanderer. Imagine a rogue planet, 11 times the size of Jupiter, drifting on the edge of its star system, far from the warmth of its sun. That's HD 106906b. What makes it strange isn't just its orbit, it's how it got there. HD 106906b appears to have been ejected or placed into a wide, stable orbit 650 times farther from its star than Earth is from the Sun. That shouldn't be possible unless something moved it. Some theorists believe HD 106906b might have been engineered either by natural forces we don't yet understand or by intelligent life. Its massive gravitational field could even act like a planetary shield, protecting inner planets from cosmic debris. Was this planet terraformed, or worse, weaponized? No answers yet. But HD 106906b breaks every rule we thought we knew and makes us question if we're seeing a natural world or a constructed one.
In 2016, the first planet was confirmed to exist in the Alpha Centauri system, the closest stellar system to our own. It orbited the far-out red dwarf, Proxima Centauri, every 11 days, putting it inside the star's habitable zone, where temperatures are right for liquid water to exist. Not only that, but it had a minimum mass almost equivalent to Earth. So not only was Proxima b in the habitable zone, but it had the chance of being Earth-sized.
7. Proxima b, the cloaked signal. Proxima Centauri b is the closest potentially habitable planet to Earth, just 4.2 light-years away. It orbits within the habitable zone of our nearest neighboring star. In 2020, astronomers detected something strange, a narrowband radio signal coming directly from its direction. It lasted for several hours. It wasn't a satellite nor a starburst. It was clean, focused, intentional. The signal, called Breakthrough Listen BLC1, was investigated. Then declared likely interference. But not everyone agrees. Multiple scientists involved in the analysis said privately that the signal bore signatures of structured information. One astronomer called it the closest thing to a techno-signature we've ever recorded. And just like that, it was never mentioned again. Did we receive our first message from another world? And if so, what did it say?
1977, NASA sent 2 golden records into space, aboard the Voyager 1 and 2 spacecraft. The Voyager probes have become 2 of the farthest-reaching objects ever launched by humanity. They're going to continue sailing through space at almost 60,000 kilometers per hour. The hopes are that one or even both of these records will be intercepted by another advanced civilization, revealing a treasure trove of information that will teach whoever finds them about our pale blue dot of a home, light years away.
8. The silent shift in NASA's messaging. In recent years, NASA's language has shifted subtly. Instead of denying alien life, they now say, we may not be alone. Instead of brushing off habitable planets, they emphasize potential biospheres. Why the change? Some believe we're being slowly prepared, conditioned for a massive disclosure, that NASA is sitting on data too shocking to release all at once. So instead, they leak details, a little here, a little there, until we're ready. A recent NASA internal report, leaked by a former contractor, discussed controlled acclimatization for extraterrestrial evidence. Controlled acclimatization. What does NASA know that we don't?
K-type stars, also known as orange dwarfs, may be the best stars to study and search for life. So, orange dwarfs have stable, habitable zones that offer a long period for life's development and are less likely to send out damaging X-ray and ultraviolet radiation. They are also a little less massive than our star, having between 50% and 80% the mass of the Sun.
9. Planet Eden, the most recent discovery. In early 2025, a new planet made headlines, briefly nicknamed Planet Eden by the team at the James Webb Space Telescope. This Earth-sized body orbits within the habitable zone of a quiet K-dwarf star, just 33 light-years away. Initial readings showed something astonishing: nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere, liquid surface water, and faint bioluminescent activity on the night side. NASA's press release was minimal, just a few vague lines buried beneath Mars rover updates. But internal sources say this might be the most Earth-like planet ever found. A planet so close and so perfect, it may one day become humanity's second home. Unless, of course, someone already lives there, and that's why the mission has gone dark. The planet that shouldn't exist.
NASA's Kepler mission has discovered the first near-Earth-sized planet orbiting in the habitable zone of a star very similar to our Sun. Located about 1,400 light-years from Earth in the constellation of Cygnus, the newly discovered planet resides in the Kepler 452 system. The host star of Kepler 452b is the same G-type as our Sun. It is 6 billion years old, 1.5 billion years older than our Sun, and is 10% larger and 20% brighter.
10th, in depth of Kepler's terrifying discovery. NASA's Kepler Space Telescope had already found thousands of exoplanets, but none like this. Officially named Kepler 442b, this rocky planet sits in the habitable zone of its star. a place where liquid water could exist. But what stunned scientists wasn't just its Earth-like atmosphere or its similar gravity, it was its age. This planet is estimated to be 2 billion years older than Earth. That means if life did start there, it had a 2 billion year head start on us. What could have evolved in that time? Civilizations? Ruins? Something else entirely? NASA released data confirming the planet's composition, but deep within that release was a redacted section. Amateur astronomers say the original transmission from Kepler showed strange infrared spikes, something that didn't match any natural phenomenon. But that wasn't the end. The signal from Kepler 442b. Just weeks after NASA's initial announcement, a leaked report from the SETI Institute revealed something strange. A repeating signal detected near Kepler 442b. It wasn't random static. It pulsed in regular, artificial intervals, almost like a heartbeat. Scientists publicly downplayed the discovery, calling it an anomaly. But behind the scenes, several researchers suddenly went silent. Their social media accounts vanished. A whistleblower later claimed they were told to stand down due to national security concerns. If the signal is real, who or what is sending it? And why does it look so much like a coded transmission? The mystery only deepened from there.
NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has hardly opened its eyes, and the universe is new, more mysterious, more beautiful than humanity's dreams. Matt Mountain says that Webb is a reminder of how much we do not know.
Atmospheric analysis reveals the impossible. Next came the James Webb Space Telescope. With its advanced infrared capabilities, it scanned Kepler 442b's atmosphere and found something unprecedented: traces of oxygen, nitrogen, and industrial-level pollutants. The kind of chemicals you'd expect on a planet with factories, vehicles, or something more advanced. Scientists tried to dismiss it as volcanic activity, but volcanologists pushed back. The signatures didn't match anything geological. Some now believe we may be looking at the remnants of an industrial civilization, or one that's still active. One even described it as a ghost of a modern world. If this planet is alive, are its inhabitants watching us back? And then came the artifact, the artificial structure in the crater. A team of independent analysts studying surface scans noticed something odd: a crater near the planet's equator that cast strange shadows. When adjusted for light angle and elevation, it revealed a geometric pattern, perfectly symmetrical with right angles. Nature doesn't build in 90 degrees, but civilizations do. The structure resembled a massive square platform, hundreds of meters across, with what looked like a spire at its center. NASA dismissed it as a data glitch, but soon after, the image was removed from public archives. Copies, of course, still exist, and conspiracy theorists claim this was the smoking gun, proof that we are not alone. But what happened next shocked everyone.
Now, this is going to sound crazy, but there is actual evidence to suggest that the US military was experimenting with anti-gravity technology starting in the early 2000s and continuing until at least the mid-2010s. Ning Li and her work with the US Army out of the Redstone Arsenal. This is, hands down, the strangest story I've ever discussed on this platform. Because, you see, not long after Dr. Ning Li signed a contract with the US military to move her anti-gravity research out of the realm of the theoretical and into practical experimentation, she disappeared.
The disappearance of Dr. Ning Li, the anti-gravity scientist who vanished. Dr. Ning Li, a physicist specializing in superconductivity and gravitational research, became a subject of intrigue due to her groundbreaking work and subsequent disappearance from public view. After emigrating from China to the United States in 1983, Dr. Li joined the University of Alabama in Huntsville, UAH, where she conducted research at the Center for Space Plasma and Aeronomic Research. In the early 1990s, she co-authored papers proposing a method to generate anti-gravity effects using high-temperature superconductors, HTSDs. Her work suggested that rotating HTSDs could produce a gravity-like force, potentially revolutionizing propulsion systems and energy consumption. In 1999, Dr. Lee left UAH to establish AC Gravity LLC, aiming to commercialize her anti-gravity research. The U.S. Department of Defense awarded her company a $448,970 grant in 2001 to further develop this technology. However, after a presentation at the 2003 MITRE conference, Dr. Lee ceased publishing her findings, and her public presence diminished significantly. Speculation about her whereabouts intensified over the years. Some theorized that she had returned to China to continue her research, while others believed she remained in the U.S. under government confidentiality agreements. In 2023, investigative reporting revealed that Dr. Lee had continued her work at Redstone Arsenal until 2014, when a vehicular accident led to health complications. She passed away in 2021, with her son confirming that she had never left the U.S. or ceased her research voluntarily. Dr. Ning Li's story highlights the intersection of advanced scientific research, government secrecy, and public speculation. Her contributions to physics remain a topic of interest and debate within the scientific community. The terraforming theory. Scientists have floated a bold theory. Kepler 442b may not be naturally habitable. It might have been terraformed, in other words, altered deliberately to support life. The atmosphere's composition, the planetary temperature, the water distribution, it's all too perfect. Some researchers even found alignment in the planet's axial tilt and rotation speed that would make day-night cycles incredibly stable, as if someone fine-tuned the planet for colonization. If this is true, who did it, and for whom? Are we looking at the leftovers of an ancient alien megaproject or a planet designed for us? It's not the first time such an idea has emerged.
Archaeoastronomy is usually thought of as the alignment of buildings with stars or the sun, but it's really so much more than that. It's the study of how the ancients viewed the sky, how it mattered to them, and why.
Echoes of the ancient builders. Throughout the galaxy, we've discovered anomalies, Dyson sphere candidates, rogue moons with hexagonal patterns, strange uniform signals from deep space. Now, some researchers are connecting the dots, suggesting a possible network of ancient builders, civilizations that predated us by millions, maybe billions of years. Kepler 442b might just be their closest outpost. Even NASA has quietly funded papers under the guise of astroarchaeology, the search for evidence of non-human artifacts in space. The idea is simple. We might not be the first to explore the stars, which brings us to the most mind-bending theory of all, the Mirror Earth hypothesis. Kepler 442b isn't just similar to Earth, it may be a mirror. The planet has land-to-ocean ratios that eerily resemble ours, mountain ranges in the same proportions, a magnetic field with almost the same strength. One researcher even mapped a continent that looks strikingly like Africa. Coincidence? Some say yes. Others believe we may be looking at a twin, a planet created through panspermia, or even a multiverse echo. Could this be another Earth from a parallel timeline, a reflection of what we could become, or what we once were? And then came the final twist. The colonization program leak. In early 2025, a massive data leak from a private contractor working with NASA revealed files labeled Project Horizon. Within them were references to unmanned probes, biosphere modules, and something called a Genesis Vault, all tied to Kepler 442b. The documents suggested that NASA, in collaboration with SpaceX and international agencies, had begun planning a long-term colonization effort. Not decades from now, according to the leak, launches were being prepared, not to explore, but to settle. Is this why so much information has been hidden? Are we witnessing the first steps toward humanity's off-world migration? Or is there something on that planet we're not being told about? What NASA isn't saying. While the public is fed carefully curated headlines, behind the scenes, agencies around the world are racing to understand the mystery, racing to send missions, racing to decide who gets to go and who stays behind. NASA continues to emphasize caution, but insiders whisper of urgency, of something discovered that demands immediate action. Is it hope, fear, or something else entirely. One thing is certain: this is no ordinary planet, and the more we learn about it, the more it challenges everything we thought we knew about life, the universe, and our place in it.